Alright, what's up, y'all? How's everybody doing out there? So we're gonna be talking about Dana White's Contender series. I think it's like week 7 now. Let's just jump right into it. First fight on the card, we got Kyle Drissell versus Dinis Paiva. First fight, we're gonna talk about Kyle Drissell. This dude is 11-3 currently, and he's 26 years old with a height of 6 feet, so he's a tall dude fighting at 145. I believe he mostly fights at 155. He's got a current streak of fights at 6, and he's undefeated since moving to AKA. As you can see there, he trains there. I think he's won his last 3 fights since he's moved to AKA, but over his 6 overall. And what I saw from this dude, Kyle Drissell, he has nice head kicks. He'll use the striking to transition to the takedowns. He's definitely like a more wrestler based fighter. He'll try to scoop the legs together. He'll do that Dagestani. I know they got the Dagestani handcuff, but he'll do that Dagestani scoop of the legs after he gets the takedown, like Khabib. That Khabib made so famous. Um, yeah, like I said, he's a good wrestler with nice top pressure, and he's relentless with the takedowns. I mean, he won't necessarily hold his opponent down, but he's relentless with the takedowns. He's gonna keep trying. He's gonna keep going until he gets it. He has a good pace. He has nice head position. Like he'll put his head against you and control your head with his head against the cage. He's good with the dirty boxing against the cage, and like I said, he's just a good wrestler overall, and is improving as a mixed martial artist. From the tape that I seen over his last fight. His last fight was against Ray Trujillo, and he mostly wins via he got win via decision, punches. His last 2 decision punches, so it's looking like decision and punches for the most part. Um, and then his opponent, let's see, who's he going against? Oh yeah, Dinis Paiva. Let's go to the confirmed bout. He's 13-7. What do we know about this dude? He's 5'9", nicknamed Sweetbread. He's got 2 fights in a row, 2 W's in a row. Let's see. Oh yeah, he lost to Andre Ewell. You guys might recognize Andre Ewell, UFC fighter. Lost via Darce choke. And so from watching tape on this dude, Dinis Paiva, he has a good straight left hand. He fights as a southpaw, despite being right-handed. So he's throwing the jab with his strong hand. He's mainly a boxer. I know it says right here that his foundation is wrestling. He might be, a high school wrestler or something, but he definitely wants to keep his standing, striking. At least that's from what I've seen from the tape. He recovers quickly from getting dropped. I seen him get dropped, but immediately get right back into it. Got his wits about him and continued fighting. So you like to see that. He has decent takedown defense against non-wrestlers. So I seen non-wrestlers try to take him down, and he was able to stuff the takedowns raw. He's got pretty good takedown defense, but that was against non-wrestlers. We got Kyle Drissell, who is a wrestler. His striking defense subpar in my opinion. His offense is okay. Like I said, he has a good power in his straight left, and his jab. But yeah, his striking defense. I seen some guys who were not very good strikers land some looping overhand rights against him and drop him and continuously drop him with it or hurt him with it. And I didn't like what I saw there, but like I said, he has pretty good power in his punches. Will he be able to stop the takedown against Kyle? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to lean Kyle. I think he's just going to be able to get a decision against him. Dinis Paiva is a good fighter. If he's able to stop the takedown, I definitely think he could win the striking battle and win a decision, or even potentially knock Kyle out. But I just think Kyle's wrestling might be a little bit too much for him. So I'm going to definitely lean Kyle. We don't have odds for this fight yet, or at least I don't have odds on my book yet, so I can't really give you guys odds yet, but that's that fight. So the next fight, we're going to go Danyelle Wolf versus Taneisha Tennant. Now let's see these women. So Danyelle Wolf is 37, fighting out of San Diego. She's 5'11", and she's a former pro boxer. I think she was an Olympic candidate, and this is her first ever MMA fight. Let's see. Let's go to the attributes and the tail of the tape. So she's 27-14, so she has a lengthy boxing record. I wasn't able to obviously see any of her MMA fights because this is being her first one, but watching some of the tape on her, She's definitely been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some grappling, but obviously her bread and butter is going to be her striking. Her boxing is elite. She's 37, like I said. She has no former fights. But, I mean, it really comes down to how good is her takedown defense, because Taneisha Tennant, her opponent, is a complete mixed martial artist. Anywhere the fight goes, she's pretty adequate. Her striking, she's long as well. She's 31, 5'7", reached 72, so that's pretty good. She's 3-0 in her MMA career, winning all via decision. But I mean, from the tape that I saw from her, she seems pretty good. She's like her nickname suggests, she's a triple threat. Anywhere that the fight goes, she can end it. Her striking isn't bad. She's a good kickboxer. She's rangy. But yeah, it just really depends. If she can get Danyelle Wolf to the ground, I can definitely see Taneisha Tennant finishing her via submission. Just because Danielle's been working on her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's not the same as actually, you can't substitute that for actual fight experience, amateur fights, professional fights. So, I mean, if she can keep it a stand-up fight, I can definitely see Danyelle winning this fight. But if Taneisha can get it on the ground, which I've seen her use some, trips. She's an aggressive fighter. She's good with her knees against the cage. She has decent ground game. She'll go for submissions. Definitely that's her path to victory, getting a submission. She's not going to want to keep it striking. She doesn't want to strike with Danyelle at all. So, I mean, why risk it for the biscuit? You feel me? I'm going to go with Taneisha Tennant on a lean, probably via submission or decision. But I'm interested to see how Danyelle Wolf does. It's going to be an interesting fight. I'm excited for it, but we'll see. So let's move on to the next fight. We got Korey Coop versus Michael Lombardo. We'll go Korey Coop first. So first things first with Korey Coop. Look at this dude. He looks like Chris Evans. Doesn't he? He look like Chris Evans with those glasses. I don't know. Anyways, he's 31, height 6'5", reach 75. Dang. So he's fighting at, I think they're fighting at 170. This dude is 6'5", so he's really lengthy, really rangy. He's got a record of 8-3. He's won his last 2 fights, and he literally wins almost all of his fights. Besides his last one, look at elbows from the triangle. So he had him in a triangle, and he was elbowing the shit out of him probably. But man, look at this: rear naked choke, guillotine, triangle choke, guillotine, rear naked choke, guillotine, arm bar. All of his fights are pretty much, all of his wins have come via submission, except for his last fight, which almost probably came from a submission. It was a submission position. But yeah, so you obviously see the path to victory for him. He's, from what I've seen on tape, obviously he's a submission specialist. Almost all of his wins come via submission, rangely. He's easily taken down, but he's going to throw up arm bars from the bottom. He's going to throw up everything from the bottom. He's, like I said, very submission based. He has weak stand-up overall, in my opinion. His punches don't really have, any type of effect. They're more of just like, keep away type punches. But he'll attack guillotines even from the clinch. So his opponent, Michael Lombardo, definitely got to watch out for that. This dude's we're gonna move on to Michael Lombardo, 10-2, 30 years old, height 6 feet, so he's pretty tall himself with a reach of 72. So he's not going to be too much of a disadvantage reach wise. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's training at an ATT. You love to see it, man. It's a great camp, great fight card. So he's won his last 2 fights, decision, arm triangle. Then he lost to Kyle Dawkins. So not a bad loss there. But yeah, overall from the tape that I was watching on Michael Lombardo, this dude's a strong athlete. He's got nice head and body kicks. He goes for nicely timed takedowns, but he's susceptible to guillotines. So just from what I've seen, he leaves his neck exposed when he's trying to go for these takedowns, which is his bread and butter. He really does try to go for the takedowns. So that could be a problem against Korey, because obviously this dude's a submission specialist. So he doesn't have great cardio, Michael. He does fade towards the 3rd round, but I mean, he does keep a high pace. He's going for takedowns. He likes to fight on the ground, but I don't know if that's his best path to victory. He might want to keep this one standing. He definitely has a power advantage. He's definitely the superior athlete out there. The only path to victory for Korey is a submission. I don't really see him grinding out a decision either. So I'm gonna go Michael Lombardo, probably via TKO in the first or second, but he has to be careful if he goes for takedowns. I could see him getting guillotined or some other type of submission from Korey if he's not careful. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. We have Muhammadjon Naimov versus Collin Anglin. All right, so let's start with Muhammadjon Naimov, who's 26 years old, fighting at 145 pounds, and he's 5'9". All right, so from what I've seen from Muhammadjon Naimov is he's got decent striking defense. He'll keep his hands up, he'll shell up. He has his right hand, attached to his chin, basically. He throws a huge overhand right, nice low leg kicks, good elbows from the clinch, nice positioning with underhooks against the cage. He can get takedowns from the body lock positions. This guy is hard. I seen him severely hurt in a fight, and he had his back taken, pretty much flattened out, rear naked choke in, and he fought his way back, reversed the position, and sunk in his own rear naked choke for the win. Like, it was really impressive. You love to see that kind of heart in a fighter, to know that when the going gets tough, that they're still going to be there, still trying to get the win. So you love to see it. He's got good pace, good cardio, and he can control his way to a decision victory if the striking is close. And that's what I think is a really important factor for this fight, because his opponent, Collin Anglin, who's 7-1, 27 years old, fighting at 145 and also 5'9". This dude, he likes to pump out his jab. He's got a nice overhand right. He moves around the outside with good footwork. He'll switch stances. I don't think he has the best striking, but I think it's what he's best at. He doesn't really have too much power behind it, but he's pretty technical. He likes to keep it. He likes to fight at his range, use his distance. He's got nice low kicks. Like I said, he's more of a technical striker and wants to fight at distance. Man, I'm going to lean Muhammadjon Naimov just because I think he's the stronger fighter. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded. I think Collin wants to keep his standing, and Muhammadjon is fine standing, but he's also stronger in the clinch. He's more powerful. He's got a little bit more power in his punches. I could see him clipping him. Collin could win a decision by outstriking him, but I just think Muhammadjon, I've seen him when he's fighting somebody who has, as good as striking up to par as himself, and he just bullies him. He bullied that dude against the cage, and I can see him going that route to victory. So that's how I see that fight going. Let's see. Next fight, we got the main event. We got Gregory Rodrigues versus Jordan Williams. And first off, let's start off with Gregory Rodrigues. So he's 7'2", 28 years old, 186 pounds, 6'2", so a tall dude, 76-inch reach. And what I saw on tape from watching Gregory, so he'll work for the takedown. He's a pretty good grappler. He's going to utilize trips and throws. He might have a background in judo from what I saw, from some of the throws I've seen. He pushes his opponents against the cage. He really looks for the clinch. He doesn't have great striking defense, but this dude has heart. He's going to continue fighting even if he gets hurt, just similar to Naimov. I seen him get really hurt, almost finished, and come back and knock the other dude out. So you like to see that. Like I said, he'll transition to the back once he's on the ground. He's definitely more comfortable on the ground. His striking is, rather rudimentary. Not bad, but just basic. Doesn't have the best control when he's on top, and he's definitely looking for subs and ground and pound over the position when he's on the ground. So now we'll move on to Jordan Williams, his opponent. He's 8-3. You might have last seen him on the Contender series going against some Nurmagomedov guy. Oh shoot, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's go back. Go to Jordan Williams. Yeah, he lost a split decision against Ramazan Kurmagomedov. That was on the Contender series last time. He dropped him a couple times. But yeah, so from the tape that I seen on Jordan Williams, he's a southpaw. He has a good straight left. He has power in his left, but he's susceptible to getting rocked himself. He'll shoot for takedowns when there's opportunity. And how I see this fight playing out is basically, I just think that if Jordan can keep this fight standing, I think he has the more polished stand up. I think he has more power in his hands. If he can keep it standing, I definitely think he can either win a TKO victory or a decision over his opponent, over Gregory. So I'm definitely going to go Jordan Williams via. His striking has looked pretty good recently, so I'm going to go via TKO in the first or second. And I think that's pretty much going to do it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think about the fights, if you guys agree, disagree. Last Contender series, I think I went 3-5, so not the best, not the worst, but you know, it's MMA, it's a fist fight. But anyways, y'all, until next time, peace late.